The Formula One world is buzzing with speculation, as Max Verstappen's future at Red Bull hangs in the balance. With the RB21 proving to be a real challenge, questions are swirling around whether the four-time world champion will continue with the team or seek new opportunities elsewhere. Red Bull is now racing against time, as Verstappen's contract details have surfaced, revealing an exit clause that could change everything. If the Austrian team doesn't address its issues swiftly, the Dutchman might just decide to move on and find a new home in the paddock. But can Red Bull turn things around before it's too late? And more importantly, what are Verstappen's options if he decides to take a different path? Right now, the team is under immense pressure as the RB21 struggles to meet expectations. Unlike the dominant performances of 2022 and 2023, this season has been anything but smooth. While McLaren has emerged as a serious contender, Red Bull finds itself slipping behind, forced to watch as Ferrari and others capitalize on its missteps. One thing is clear: Verstappen isn't one to sugarcoat reality. He has made it known that this season won't be about miracles. Instead, it's about survival, strategy, and tough decisions. Red Bull's development path seems to be going in the wrong direction, and with other teams catching up fast, the Dutchman might not be willing to wait around for things to improve. Even before the 2025 season kicks off, serious doubts are being raised about Red Bull's ability to stay at the top. The team's development curve appears to be heading in the wrong direction, making it difficult for Verstappen to maintain his dominance. Unlike last year when he managed to fight at the front, without always having the fastest car, this time it's a different story. McLaren is leading the charge with a car that performs consistently across different circuits, putting Red Bull under enormous pressure. Adding to the challenge is the recent promotion of Yuki Tsunoda, a move that has left many questioning the team's decision-making. But the bigger issue isn't just the driver lineup, it's the very real possibility of Verstappen walking away. Every top driver has clauses in their contract allowing them to leave if performance drops, and Verstappen's situation is no different. This was something Christian Horner himself hinted at in Drive to Survive, when discussions about a possible Mercedes move first emerged. Now, Helmut Marko has reignited the conversation, making it clear that Verstappen's contract includes an escape route. The real concern for Red Bull fans isn't just the existence of this clause, it's the timeline attached to it. Marko has hinted that by the summer break, things could take a dramatic turn. While Verstappen is only 8 points behind Norris in the standings, expectations for the RB21 are far from what they used to be. With ongoing struggles in development, there's a growing sense that Red Bull might not be able to deliver the upgrades needed to keep their star driver happy. The upcoming summer break could be the critical moment that determines Verstappen's future. Red Bull's leadership understands that without significant improvements, they risk losing their star driver. Marko himself has openly acknowledged that by the time the summer break arrives, Verstappen's future may already be decided. While the team remains competitive, sitting just 8 points behind the championship leader, the challenges with the RB21's performance are becoming increasingly evident. Should Verstappen decide to leave, it would shake the entire F1 grid, and Red Bull would be hit hard. Marko even hinted that his own future with the team could be at risk if Verstappen departs. But the situation is also complicated by internal frustrations over how certain decisions have been handled. One example is the early treatment of Liam Lawson. The young driver was given limited opportunities, just 2 races, one being a sprint weekend and the other a wet race in Australia, to prove himself. Verstappen has reportedly expressed his dissatisfaction with how Red Bull handled Lawson's situation, believing he wasn't given a fair chance. At the same time, Red Bull has justified the decision by pointing to Yuki Tsunoda's solid performances. The team has praised Tsunoda for his speed and consistency, particularly noting that he hasn't made any major mistakes in the early part of the season. But even if Tsunoda is showing improvement, Verstappen's concerns remain. For a driver of his caliber, Trusting the team's long-term vision is crucial, and it appears that Verstappen is starting to question whether Red Bull can deliver on that front. As the season progresses, the tension within Red Bull continues to build. The team is facing an uphill battle, not only in terms of their performance, but also in managing the expectations of their star driver. Verstappen's patience is wearing thin, and the clock is ticking for Red Bull to address the issues with the RB21. The car, which was once considered a strong contender, has now become a source of frustration for the team and their driver. Despite Red Bull's efforts to bring in upgrades, the car still lacks the consistency and speed needed to stay at the front of the grid. Verstappen's future now hinges on whether Red Bull can deliver the upgrades they've promised. Marco has made it clear that the summer break will be the deciding factor. If things don't improve by then, it could signal the end of Verstappen's time at the team. While some might argue that it's too early to make any drastic decisions, the reality is that Verstappen's ambitions are too high for him to waste time on a team that can't provide the tools to help him win. With his exit clause in place, Verstappen has the flexibility to move to another team if Red Bull fails to meet his expectations. This puts Red Bull in a difficult position, as they know they have limited time to fix the car and keep their star driver. If Verstappen does leave, there are a few teams that would undoubtedly be interested in signing him. Looking ahead, two teams seem to be the most likely contenders to secure Verstappen's services if he chooses to leave Red Bull. First, there's Aston Martin. Under Lawrence Stroll's leadership, the team has shown impressive progress and is positioned as a serious challenger in the F1 world. However, for Verstappen to move there, it would likely mean replacing Fernando Alonso. The two-time world champion has already stated that 2026 could be his last season unless Aston Martin offers him another year, but it's uncertain if the team would want to take that route, especially if they see Verstappen as a more immediate solution to boost their performance. On the other hand, Mercedes also stands out as a potential destination for Verstappen. The team has been recovering from a dip in form and is clearly trying to get back to its dominant ways. With Lewis Hamilton and George Russell already in place, some believe that Mercedes might be hesitant to disrupt their driver lineup, but the reality is that if Verstappen becomes available, it's a move they might not pass up. Toto Wolff has made no secret of the fact that he would love to work with Verstappen, and given the strong foundation Mercedes has in place, the team could be an ideal fit for the Dutchman. The possibility of Verstappen joining Mercedes has been discussed by many within the paddock. McLaren's boss, Zak Brown, also weighed in, stating that he believes Verstappen will leave Red Bull by the end of the year, with Mercedes as the most likely destination. Brown has hinted that with the upcoming changes in regulations and Red Bull's struggles, Verstappen may feel it's the right time to make a move. The possibility of Verstappen leaving Red Bull has shaken up the entire F1 landscape, and the next few months will be critical in determining his future. The pressure is mounting on Red Bull to fix the issues with the RB21, and the team's ability to deliver the promised upgrades will be key to keeping their star driver. Verstappen, being a four-time world champion, isn't just looking for a car that's fast. He wants a team that can help him continue his legacy. If Red Bull fails to meet those expectations, it's clear that Verstappen won't hesitate to explore other options. As we move into the latter half of the season, all eyes will be on Verstappen's contract situation. Teams like Aston Martin and Mercedes are already making plans, knowing that a driver of Verstappen's caliber is hard to come by. Mercedes in particular is poised to make a move if the opportunity arises, with Toto Wolff keeping a close eye on the situation. The balance of power in Formula One could shift dramatically depending on where Verstappen decides to go. In the end, Verstappen's decision will come down to what's best for his career. Is he willing to stay with a Red Bull team that may or may not be able to give him the tools he needs to win again? Or will he take a leap and join a team like Mercedes or Aston Martin, where he could have the chance to build something new and perhaps more competitive? One thing's for sure. This will be one of the biggest stories of the year, and the entire F1 world is waiting to see what happens next. That's it for now, but make sure to stay tuned for more updates as we get closer to the summer break. Will Verstappen stay with Red Bull, or will he make a switch? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.